The Deerfield's irrigation and well control system. We're going to run a few stations or zones, checking zone 13. This is by far the largest zone and is what gives the irrigation or the well controller, our new well controller, the most trouble, because it has to send so much water. Here is the well controller. It's trying to build pressure. And because the zone is actually in two different areas, it takes a long time to send water and build the pressure. It's now over 10 psi. That's the minimum pressure before the well controller will cut off the pump. If it doesn't reach 10 psi within 45 seconds of starting the zone. And you can see it's now up and running, zone 13. The default for this controller was 15 seconds from the start of the zone until it reaches at least 10 psi. If it did not, it would kill the well pump and it would shut it down for at least 10 minutes unless it was manually reset. But we've changed the setting in this. Water Doctor, I guess this is a new control software and they didn't even know all the settings, but there's a setting where you can change the time from 15 seconds to as much as 10 minutes, but we bumped it up a little bit to give especially zone 13 more time to send water and build pressure. Here's zone 13. We'll show you all the heads. You can see there's one section way down there with about 8 heads running all the way down there, and then right here by the monument there's about 8 more heads. So it's just very unusual that the builder split one zone into 2 different areas well over 100 feet apart. This would definitely normally should have been 2 zones. That's why it takes so long to pressurize the system for this zone. Okay, now we're going to start a manual run on zones 14, 17, and 20. This is where the tree work, 2 trees were removed. You can see these heads appear to be working fine for zone 14. And zone 14, and most zones have a normal pressure of about 60. Zone 13 is again an exception because zone 13 is just so large. Its normal pressure is a bit lower at about 47. But this new control board on the well is actually pretty slick. You can tell if there's bad leaks, if the pressure just doesn't get up to about 60. You know there's a leak somewhere, potentially. And it also gives the amperage and the hertz. So you can also tell the functionality of the valves and the pressure and how the zone is performing. So this is zone 17 we've set to manually run. Again, this is another zone right where tree removal work was recently done. And just overall the way it works, zones 1 through 13 are on the other side of the monument, and zone 1 and 2 are all the way down by Alexander Dow Drive in Bondwood, and zones 14 and higher are on this side. And they're not necessarily in order for whatever reason, especially on this side the builder skipped around. So the 3 zones right here where the tree work was done were actually 14, 17, and 20. And as you can see, we're getting good overall operating pressure out of zone 17. It's about 60 psi while the zone is working, just like with zone 14. Okay, this is zone 20 in action. We've manually started it. This is the third of 3 zones where tree removal work was done. And you can see we have about 8 heads running here all the way down to past this live tree that was left standing. So zone 20 is operating, appears to be operating normally. And like with zones 14 and 17, similarly you can see the operating pressure of the well on zone 20 is about 60. So good operating pressure. This is consistent with all zones except for, again, zone 13. With zone 13 being such a massive zone in 2 different areas, its normal operating pressure is lower. And that's it. It's a demonstration of the well and the irrigation system for Deerfield. There are about, I think, 29 total zones, and the controller, irrigation controller on the monument where we manually started, has room for up to 36. I don't know why the zone 13 was not split in 2, perhaps because the builder did not want to install an extra valve box. I don't know. But there's definitely enough room in the irrigation controller for more zones. Thank you.